So excited, the day is finally here. I'm going to Paris and I cannot wait. I know you guys are tired of hearing about this trip because I've been talking nonstop, but I decided to do a little vlog about it. I'm gonna share some of my tips on how I plan, how can I afford it, how can I budget for it, especially working for Disney. Share just a little bit of how I put everything together, and maybe it'll help you get there too, or get somewhere that you want to go on a budget. So I'm a little sad to leave my pooch behind, but oh well, it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be a week of fun, and I'm excited to share it all. So first of all, for who knows me, knows that this trip is very important for me. It's something that I needed to do after going through some personal things. It's kind of like a refreshing trip for me to just kind of reward myself for all the work I have put working with my depression and anxiety. Thank God I am doing much better, and I'm doing this trip to really get like a new beginning and start over in my life with something very positive. So it's an emotional situation. It's an emotional trip for me, but I'm going with great people that are gonna make this a lot of fun and so exciting and rewarding to be able to make that happen. Now, talking about the planning, so the planning started with just looking for a place to go in Europe that I could afford, being in the budget, being in a very tight budget, working for Disney, and having some financial struggles that recently hit me. So what I did, what I use all the time actually, is Google Flights. I go to Google Flights and I put in not even like a day specifically. I pick a place that I would like to go, and I go click through the dates, and then it shows me the lowest fare. And then you can definitely look into the return dates and see what can kind of match that lower price. So that's how I found my flight, and I got very lucky. I paid about $450, came to 500-ish with the insurance in case of cancellation or anything like that, emergency wise. So that was very cheap. My flight is Norwegian. It's my first time flying with them, so I can't say much about them yet. But I heard great things about their service, and I think that's gonna be a great trip, and especially because it's a straight flight, no connections. I'm flying Orlando, Paris, 8.5 hours overnight flight. So I'm hoping that I can sleep most of it, even though like I'm terrified of flying. So it's gonna be anxiety the entire 8 hours, but it's part of the process. So if I could just get there without flying, I would, because that's my least favorite part. I'm terrified of flying. But great flight, time-wise, and the fact that I don't have a connection. But one of the reasons why it was discounted is because it doesn't include any check bags, any food, or I cannot pick my seats or do pre-check-in. So that will be interesting to see how it's gonna go when I check in, where I'm gonna sit there, especially because I'm traveling with a friend, if we're gonna be able to sit together or not. And I'm stuffing my face before the flight because I'm not buying anything on the flight. Now, another important tip is the fact that one way that I saved a lot of money was because I have a credit card that gives me miles as rewards. Is the Venture One from Capital One, which gives me miles for purchases, for every purchase I make on my credit card. I use my credit card a lot, but I paid it off like right away. So I put a lot of money paying off every month. So I try to have really good control over it. But it's great to have like a credit card with rewards like that, and especially the miles. Even though the miles are not worth it for like using towards payments on purchases, but if you use it towards anything travel related, it kind of picks up that's a travel purchase, and then the miles, the value of the miles increase in value, so it's worth more, so you get more money back for that. So I paid about $250 out of my flight with miles. So right now it's costing me about $250 for the flight. So amazing, like really cheap. And with that, of course, it reduced the cost of my trip a lot, but we are also doing an Airbnb location because we're going in 4 people. We were able to get a full apartment, like a whole apartment just for us. We're not sharing a room with anybody or a house with anybody. It's just the 4 of us in this apartment. The apartment is on the, I think is northeast side of Paris. It's about 45 minutes from the airport, but the airport is really far from everything, so it's kind of hard to really find a location near to the airport. But we're located on the Sacré-Cœur area, which is one of the big monuments that they have in Paris, about 10 minutes or so. It's not a very central area, but I read about it and I heard it's really safe and is okay place to stay. We got a great deal on the Airbnb as well. We pay about $550 for the Airbnb total for the 6 nights, and we're dividing by 4, so good deal. So that puts us with flight and Airbnb, if I don't even count the amount I paid off with miles, at about $600, $650 for the flight and the place to stay for the entire 7 days. It's more 5.5 because, of course, you lose a day traveling and a half day for us tomorrow because we get there at 1 o'clock Paris time. But full 5 days, so that's kind of what it's going to cost us for this trip so far, about $600 or so. Amazing, like, I mean, really cheap. The whole trip I'm planning to be under $1,000 because I'm taking with me a couple hundred euros, and I'm gonna be using my credit card. One of the perks of my credit card with the miles is because it's a travel credit card. I don't have any international fees for transactions in other countries for exchange currency, so I can charge as my credit card and it automatically charges in dollars without charging me any fees for the conversion. So that's great too. And to make things better, I will get to go to Disneyland Paris for free, thanks to Disney, because Disney give the free tickets as a perk to the cast members. So kudos to Disney for doing this. I appreciate my company very much for doing this, allowing us to see the other parks all over the world. Gotta give them credit for the perks are amazing. So the fact that we're gonna save the park admission, and I'm hoping to do a couple days, 1 day for sure, and maybe a half a day at the studios there. But I'm so excited to see Disney from a French perspective after being here, you know, for so long at Disney World and making magic here. I'm very excited to see the other side, the French side of Disney. So that's going to be amazing. And then we also found out, that was my cousin Carol that found that out, which is great that she did. The Versailles, the palace there, they don't charge admission on the first Sunday of the month. So we're lucky enough that we're going to be there on Sunday the 2nd. So it should be for free. We're hoping that this is true, but we did see that on the official website for the palace. So I don't see that being a problem. So free admission, we're saving about 20 euros per person to enter Versailles and spend a day there. We're very excited for that too. It's one of the places that I've been dreaming about going, bucket list kind of thing. So saving 20 euros on that. And then one more added cost for me was, of course, the travel insurance, the health insurance that is requested by European countries. So I purchased through Allianz, and I think I paid about $45 or so for the whole time that I'm there, and it covers a lot of stuff. So if I get sick there or anything like that, it covers the travel part too, any cancellations and stuff like that. So it's an extra 45 euros. It's something that the countries in Europe do require. So if you get there and you don't have it, it might be a problem. I'm not saying it will be a problem, but it could be something that they question you in immigration. So I did add that, and not too much of an add-on for the comfort that it gives you, feeling that you have some type of protection in case something happens. So one of the reasons why I chose Paris, of course, I always wanted to go there. Always had a strong connection with the culture, and interest in the food and everything. I think I lived there in another life. I don't know. But of course, the price. The price was a big thing for me. When I Googled, you know, cheapest place to fly to in Europe, Paris was the number one. I kind of didn't believe it until I started looking through Google Flights, and I saw that really throughout the year, it is the cheapest place to go. So it might be worth it if you're flying somewhere else, that you want to go somewhere else in Europe, to look for a flight to Paris and then get an internal flight from Paris to the destination that you want to go. I did that last year when I went to Portugal. I flew to Madrid. Madrid is another place that's really cheap to fly to, and then I got an internal flight to Porto, and it saved me about $200 or so. So very worth it to take a look on that as an option. And I'm sure Paris is amazing, so you can spend a day there if you want to. And another reason why I'm saving so much money is the fact that I'm traveling with a backpack and a carry-on. This is what I'm traveling with, guys. So I had to make a lot of my things fit on there. It's cold in Paris. It's gonna be tough, but I have some heavy clothing in there, and I'm taking a big jacket with me on the plane. But if I was gonna check a bag, it was gonna be $45. That's a lot of money. So when you put those charges here and there that you can save it from, you know, a hotel or a bag check and stuff like that, it adds up. So you have to be careful when you're traveling with those extra fees that will add up and make you go over budget. So if you can travel with a carry-on and a backpack, go for it. You don't have the hassle of waiting for your bags or losing your bags. And hey, saves you a lot of money. So another great tip here for you guys. So pack light. Well, I think for now that's all I can share. Lots of adventures coming up. You know, of course, I'm gonna spend some more money in Paris with the transportation, getting a metro ticket that's gonna be valid for the entire time we're there in different places, as well as the ticket to the Louvre and any other locations we go to. So that's gonna add up a little bit more, but I'm hoping that I'm gonna stay under $1,000. So fingers crossed I can keep that on the budget. And I'm gonna tell you some adventures when I come back in a week or so, and very excited. So I'll try to post as much as I can on my Instagram and Snapchat. So hope you guys enjoy it, and that can help you maybe fulfill your dream to go there too.